side.
Hi everyone, this is Patchman21 and this is a tag, the 12 questions tag. I was nominated by 8BITBEK. Check out our channel, I'll put a description in the link, or even a link in the description. There we go. Right, without further ado, 12 questions. I'll work my way through them, try and keep it as brief and as painless as possible. First question, when did you start YouTube? Well, my channel popped up in June 2010. Don't know why, probably something to do with Google accounts generating a YouTube account. I wasn't aware I had one until my first video, which was February 2014, and it was me just videoing with my phone, my dog, and my girlfriend had put a onesie on our dog for some bizarre reason to keep him dry when they go for walks. And I videoed that as the very first video you'll see on my channel. It's still there now. Check it out. It's awful, but amusing in its own way. My first video series starting doing something serious was May 2016, when I started videoing flying drones, and I had video from the cameras in my drones. I also did some follow me car footage where I've got my dash cam and the drones camera synchronized. So that started about the middle of 2016. My first unboxing was June 2016, and it was Nerd Block, the sci-fi Nerd Block, just hands, nothing else. And that's more or less where the unboxings kicked off from, which are now what I mainly do. God, that was a long answer to a question. Right, okay, try and skip through these a bit faster. Why did you start YouTube? Well, to be honest, just for shits and giggles. I'm more enamoured with the tech side of it than I am with the actual video side of it. So to me, the pleasure comes from putting it together, trying to make it better than it is, overlaying music, chopping it around, putting bits and pieces around to to make it more interesting for the viewer. And to be honest, that's the time that I enjoy more. This camera stuff, this me in front of the camera, not natural, doesn't feel right, but me in front of a computer working does. So that's why I do it, mainly the tech side. Question 3, what's your favourite show that you've ever made? Okay, my favourite one was Nerd Block Sci-Fi Unboxing, August 2016. The reason being is this is the first time I really sort of spread my wings. I spent not a lot of time, but quite a bit of time, and the box was fantastic. Some really nice stuff in there that I thoroughly enjoyed, little dioramas and models and things like that. So I had voiceovers, I had speed model building with sound effects and stuff. So that's my favourite one that I've ever produced. Have you ever met another YouTuber? No. What is your favourite animal? Dog. What is your favourite colour? Black. What is your favourite holiday? Now, odd question. I suppose people just scrabbling around to think of a question, but favourite holiday. Now, do you mean when I was abroad, which would have been Mexico, which was awesome, or do you mean the sort of like time off that you're allowed, or celebrations like Halloween and Christmas? If it is that, it's probably going to be New Year, because it mainly involves me getting drunk and with my friends and loved ones, which is one of my favourite pastimes. The other one might be Valentines. The reason I like Valentines as a holiday is because I do nothing. Every girlfriend I've ever had, I've said to them, I don't buy into it, it's bullshit holiday. So every time February 14th swings around, I completely ignore it, nothing happens. To me, that's how you celebrate a holiday. I am a Grinch. Okay, what's your goal for this year? Well, to be honest, I mean, it's a bit intimate if it's to do with me as a person, because I've got business goals, personal goals. If it's YouTube, favourite goal on YouTube for this year, I think just generally polish things up, make it a little bit better, learn more about the mechanics of what happens for editing and production and stuff like that. Yeah, just to make it better. There was a comment by one of the subscribers just saying, you know, what he enjoyed about it was the fact that it was amateurish, and that actually hurt me, because yes, I'm well aware it's very amateurish. I know I am an amateur, but I do try. So that was lesson learned. I now need to try harder to make them a little bit more polished. Okay, we are on question 9. What equipment do you use? Right, very simple. I use the camera on my old phone. It's an LG G4. It does have one of the better cameras on it. My own phone is an LG G5, which has an even better picture on it. I did try this one on like a super ridiculously high setting, and just a 5-minute video was about 4 gig, and my editing software just shat itself and wouldn't let it do it. So I stick with the LG G4. So that's LG G4. I'm getting confused with all the letters there. Does the job. It's crystal clear. I have it on high definition, so you get a nice clean picture. I also use a plug-in mic, and this is the VideoMic Me, or VideoMic Me by RØDE, with a fluffy thing on it. I might put a picture of what they are, so phone, and fluffy directional mic that I use. I've got a tripod, just a basic tripod from Jesup's, which takes it up to the height that I need. I've also bought sorry, I'm not staring at you, I'm trying to read the handhold shoulder pod. It's it's quite a chunky phone grip. I did try buying the cheap ones to stick on the tripod, and I found that if I trod on them when I was drunk, they snapped in half. So I bought this thing, and to be honest, I could probably drop it off a 100-story building, it'd be fine. It also comes with a handle, so if I wanted to vlog as well, I could do that. Not that I will. Excuse me. Yeah, I suppose if you're talking about equipment, I've got an Acer Predator as well. That's my computer that I use for to do all the work on. So on the phone, and it gets transferred onto the computer, edited, and then sent up to YouTube. Which leads on to the next question: how do you edit your videos? I use VideoPad by NCH Software. It's free version. Again, I'll leave a link in the description so that you can sort of check it out, download it if you want. It is limited, but what I've found is the functions that it's got are fantastic. They allow me to do more or less everything that I want. And if I did want to expand on it, I think it's about 70 quid to go to the pro version with technical support and all of that. At the moment, I'm fine, but if I do want to sort of stretch it, I'm prepared to sort of pay that. But before I do, I'll be looking at other types of editing software just to see what they are. I'll probably do reviews or read some reviews and see what people can do with various bits and pieces, and take it from there. Right, question 11, penultimate question. Who are some of your favourite YouTubers? Now, I'm not going to say all of you guys who watch it. That's blatantly obvious. I think you're all great in your own ways, so you know that I like you, and I've probably said it, and I've put lists together of people that I like. What I'm going to do is say the ones that the ones that are outside this sort of this circle. Some of them are fairly obvious. Slow-mo guys, I think I mentioned before. Grade A, Under A. How to Basic always makes me laugh. It's so simple but so funny. Vsauce, just fascinating. Gifts with Sound, hilarious. Controversial one, The Amazing Atheist. I do like his message. So those are some, and I still watch the likes of PewDiePie as well. So those are a few of my favourite ones. But I still, all the ones I'm subscribed to, I do watch. So if I've subscribed to you, I do always check out your videos. Again, I do work full time, so sometimes it can take a little while. I may not comment on every one. Sometimes I forget to like them as well, and that's just my stupidity as opposed to me not. Hold on. Okay, and on to the final question. What's been your biggest success and fail so far? As far as my biggest success. There is a video I did using my drone, my Hubsan HS 51OS drone. I did a distance test, got it quite a way away, and it came back. There was no voiceover, it was all background music and just text saying what was happening. Now that is by far my most successful video. I think as we stand today, 21,000 views, which is, you know, for some pissy little channel like me, is amazing. And it does average quite a few hits every day. I'm probably responsible for almost half of the views that I get, and that was done a long time ago, and it's still constantly generating views. Again, I'll put a link in the description. You can see what I mean. It's you know, it's got those hits on it. I've no idea why. I'm assuming somewhere it's embedded and keeps getting looked at. I personally don't think it's that good, but there you go. But it is my most successful one. That was the question. And my biggest fail. My biggest fail, again, you're going to see a link to it, and it's the maiden flight of my RC Dragon. My lovely girlfriend bought me, because she knows I like fantasy and science fiction and I like tech, so she found this remote control helicopter dragon thing, and it fantastic. I was made up with it, and I wanted to video it, and I tried flying in a house and kept crashing into shit, so I took it outside to video it. I was going to keep it low level, and I got a controller, off it went into the distance, never to be seen again. And you can hear me. It's very blue, so if you do listen to it, make sure there's no kids around. I am effing and blinding as it buggers off into the distance. So yeah, that's my biggest fail. There you go. I'm not sure how long this has been cracking on for, so apologies if it has been a bit long. But again, I'd like to thank 8BITBEK for doing this. As I said at the beginning, her link to her channel, it will be in the description. Please take the time to go and check it out. And I now have to nominate 3 more people, and I'm completely unprepared for that. Let's say El Hombre Gordo, 1, who's probably already done this. Sorry, again, I probably should have prepped a little bit better. Punisher Light, I think there might be a number at the end of that. Punisher Light and Nerdology, and then there's some numbers I can never remember, so apologies Nerdology. I can't remember what your numbers are at the end, and I should have made notes. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and bye. Thank you very much for watching my video. I appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like down below, and also a comment. If you haven't already, please subscribe. If you did enjoy this and you think others would, share it with your friends. I really appreciate it. If you want to see more of me or find out more about me, follow me on Twitter or Facebook. The link should be floating around somewhere. If you want to throw a few shekels my way to help out with equipment, etc., I also have a Patreon page as well. Just a quid or $1, whatever you can afford, would be more than appreciated to help out with a few bits and pieces. Anyway, all the links should be in the description, and again, comments, please. I love the comments. Thank you very much for watching. Please take care, and goodbye.